Good morning everybody, welcome to this beautiful winter's Saturday morning here in Western Sydney. Look, just recently a friend of mine who is also a photographer sent me two questions the other day, and he said, could you do a video on this and possibly explain or give me some answers on these two questions? And those two questions are, can I call myself a photographer without any qualifications? Is a photographer somebody with a uni degree or somebody that takes good photos? Two very, very good questions there. And in this episode of Sniper Photography, I'm going to try and answer those questions and hopefully put to bed the myth that you need to be university qualified to be a good photographer. Hello, my name's Glenn Samuel and you're watching Sniper Photography. First question. Do I need any qualifications or without any qualifications to be a good photographer? And the question is, can I call myself a photographer without any qualifications? Well, let me answer that first. Yes, you can. You can call yourself a photographer without any qualifications. Now, can you do uni degrees on photography? Yes, you can. It's done through the graphics arts degree in a lot of the universities throughout our country. Then there's also a TAFE course where you can go level 4 in photography. So yes, there are courses there that you can be taught photography, but can you really be taught photography? I don't think so, because some of the greatest photographers of our time were self-taught. No Photoshop, no Lightroom, nothing. They taught themselves by getting out into the field with their cameras and exploring and making mistakes. But getting back to that question, can I call myself a photographer without any qualifications? Well, yes, you can. As long as your images are good enough and you feel like they're good enough, well then call yourself a photographer. Do you need letters and numbers and everything next to your name on your business card as a photographer? No, you don't. Is a photographer somebody with a uni degree or somebody takes good photographs? Well, it could be either. You could be university qualified in graphic arts and also be a good photographer, or you could just be a damn good photographer. It's not like a builder that needs a license to say that he's a fully qualified builder. That's there for insurance purposes. There's a lot of good builders out there that don't have license numbers, but anyway, you don't need to be university degreed or qualified to be a good photographer. You just don't. You don't. Because as I said, you can do a graphic arts course in university and you can do a level 4 in TAFE, and that'll teach you a lot about photography, a lot about settings and motion and light. But at the end of the day, the best way to do this is to grab that camera and go out and start taking photographs. Read, watch videos like this, ask questions, associate yourself with other competent photographers. You don't really need a degree to call yourself a photographer. You just don't. What you do need is good quality images in a portfolio that you can show people. I've got a portfolio that's thick as a tax act, and I do show that to people when they request it. It's like when you employ a builder. Well, you really can't see his work unless you go and actually see work he's done or spoke to a customer or a client. It's the same with us photographers. You need a portfolio to show your work. And I don't mean a portfolio on Facebook or social media. You want a hard copy, like a photo album of your best work. So, yes, you can call yourself a photographer without a university degree. You don't need all those numbers and letters after your name like a doctor. But basically what you have to do, you have to perfect your craft as a photographer. Find what you're good at and find what you really, really like to photograph and specialise in that and build a portfolio so you can show people. You can call yourself a photographer without a university degree. As I said, you don't need all these numbers and names and look, I've done a section 4 at TAFE, or that's very good. When I first started many years ago, I was taught by an Italian wedding photographer who in actual fact taught me a lot about composition and light. And then from there I had my own wedding photography business and I was full-time at it. And yes, I was a professional photographer because I was doing it professionally and getting paid to do it. If you look up the word professional, a professional is somebody that is in a trade or a skill that his main income is derived from that skill or trade. But as a photographer, if you're a part-time photographer, you can't call yourself professional. Regardless of how many images you're selling, if it's your full-time gig, yes, you're a full-time photographer, such as working for the newspapers or photographing the AFL or the Rugby League all week and every weekend. You're a professional photographer. But for the people out there that just like to take great images and hopefully sell them, well, yes, you are a photographer and you don't need university degrees to do that. It's only, if only, you want to become a full-time professional photographer and that is your sole income, then and then only could you call yourself a professional photographer. My tip to everyone out there is to perfect your craft of photography. And always remember, the best photographers in the world never had these university degree qualifications in graphic arts and things. I know graphic artists that are great graphic artists. Give them a camera and they're hopeless. And vice versa. I know some really good amateur photographers out there, but put them in front of a computer, they've got nothing. And that's not a bad reflection on either party. So yes, you can call yourself a photographer without qualifications. And no, you don't need to have a university degree to be a good photographer. Just get out there with your camera and start taking photos and learn and look at what you're doing. Look at your subjects. Recently I did a video not far from here on what makes a good photo. It's not the camera, it's you, the person, the photographer. Start to think like a photographer. And then you will see the quality of your personal work increase. So don't worry about it. Get out there on a day like this, grab your camera and start taking photos. And who cares if you make a mistake? It doesn't matter. Wipe it and do it again. So the moral to this is you don't need a university degree to be a good photographer. And you don't need a university degree or any of these other degrees to say, yes, I am a photographer and I am a professional photographer, because at the end of the day, you don't. So until then, my name's Glenn Samuel, I'm from Sniper Photography, and don't forget to like us down below and hit that button next door for all the new videos that I'm posting here weekly at Sniper Photography. So as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, please keep shooting and have fun. Bye for now.